What's going on, and welcome to q.v.o Games. My name is Juan. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. This video is going to be before you buy Too Many Cooks by Good Games Publishing. This game was provided to me for review, and it was provided to me over at Gamma, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the game, overview of the game, some things to consider before you buy the game, and my final thoughts on what I think about the game myself. So far, I'm going to, first off, to remind you, before you buy is going to be a solid review we do here on q.v.o Games, where we do a review with us a couple of standard things, the overview, of course, final thoughts, but in between that, we're going to talk about things you should consider before you purchase the game. Hopefully those games help you decide maybe if this game isn't or is for you. You can go on a list of like 50, 60 different things about certain games. I'm going to include what I think are the most important things to consider in the game, which is all in my opinion, of course. Even if after you hear my opinion about the game, I recommend you still go out and try the game out for yourself. Sometimes my opinion is definitely my taste. Of course it is. It's my opinion and my taste in games, and it's my opinion, and I recommend you, after hearing this review, try the game yourself at least one time. Especially some games where I might be critical of them, but everyone else loves them, and I think all games deserve at least one shot. Don't judge a book by its cover. Take my word for what it is and for what I've played, and if we have some early taste, and then from there, go try the game, because the whole point of this hobby is to have fun. Go out, try a game one time, and have fun, enjoy, and then you can develop your own opinion as well. Also, after you do that, run back over here to the comment section. Let me know your thoughts as well, and tell me what you thought. I love hearing the compare and contrast between our thoughts, and I love it's interesting to hear. It probably won't change my mind on a game, but I definitely love discussing and talking what we did and didn't like about a game. I like that. It's one of my favorite parts about doing this. And I've talking to you guys, and then you guys talking back to me and telling us, just comparing our thoughts and ideas of what we did and didn't enjoy of specific games. Let's get this video going with the overview of the game. Too Many Cooks is a game where you're all playing as cooks in a kitchen trying to achieve everyone's taste. And you do that first with the setup here. You're gonna set up your play area, which is actually pretty massive. Excuse the fact I tried so hard to make this as straight as possible, and I think I got as close as I can, and it probably still won't be in the editing when we start editing. This is going to be your play area, and you're going to set up. This is not just randomly done, right? This is going to be your market area. And by the way, I did leave out a couple vegetables for the sake of room. My table isn't big enough to fit 2 more rows of cards, unfortunately, so some vegetables are missing from this market area. And here is going to be your setup. So in your setup, you play that by determining if it's easy or hard, and well, you're gonna go by the back, right? So there's gonna be easy soup bases, as well as mediums, which is gonna be hard, and then medium. Those were actually reversed. And when you go through these, you're gonna pick. You're playing easy, hard, or medium, and you're gonna pick a way to set up the table. And this is not just random; it's all based off a card. When you set up, this is gonna be your area where you're going to try to match everyone's taste. This is gonna be where you can grab your vegetables to try to match a taste. The tastes that I'm talking about are going to be challenge cards, and these challenge cards are going to be cards that you randomly draw. You draw some cards depending on the specific round. You draw a specific amount of cards. You go round 1, round 2, round 3, and you're going to have taste, right? So this is the backside of the cards. This means, oh yes, this matches my taste. This means, no, it does not match my taste. And on the other side of these cards, there's going to be specific challenges to meet. For example, every row has at least 1 green. If you look back at the table, that is not being achieved at the moment. So that means I'm gonna have this card face up this way on my hand. Depending on the amount of players, you're always going to, difficulty doesn't scale necessarily by round. Well, actually, difficulty scales by round. Even if you have 2 players, 3 players, 4, 5 players, you're always going to have the same amount of cards per round. When you have the cards, you're gonna pass them out evenly, and sometimes you'll have a shared taste card, which will go right in the middle. A shared taste card will go in the middle, and when this card goes in the middle, you're going to want that's basically everyone's shared taste. You want to achieve it. Have it be green, have it be not achieved, or however format. I don't think it's strict on that. You can definitely like have it this way. Okay, that's achieved, that's not achieved. Just depends what's comfortable for your group. And usually we just do them this way to know that, okay, facing up to the top of the soup base, we're going to have this specific card faced up. So the interesting part about this game is you have to achieve everyone's taste. And everyone's taste in 5 minutes or less. Basically, you have 5 minutes total, and you can't talk. That is the biggest thing. You cannot talk at all during the game, and it's a challenging part of the puzzle, because everyone's like flipping up and down. Let's say you moved a carrot. Let's actually go over actions, and I'll discuss that in a little bit here. So on your turn, you're going to do one or 2 things. You're either going to move a card, which is going to be either by going down, for example, this way, right, and then moving this card back this way. Or then moving down, right? You can move a card down this way as well. That's how you do it. You move rows or columns. You're not going to be able to just like switch to vegetables. You move rows and columns to do that to be moving cards around. Also, you're going to be able to switch cards on your turn. So you're going to be able to either choose, for example, switching an eggplant. There's a red background and an eggplant. You can either switch the vegetable or the card in the background. We're going to do a different example that I have on the board because I did not put up the eggplants. If I want to switch a corn, I could be with another corn, right? Another, for example, maybe a green corn, and that switches the vegetable. Or the blue corn could have been switched for another blue card. Basically, it's a blue potato. It could be the vegetable or the potato that gets switched. It could be the color or the vegetable that gets switched around. You can never do both. For example, you can't switch a garlic out for a green mushroom. I mean, nothing matches about this. That's not in the rules, and you can't do that. As you're doing that, you're going to be taking turns, just one by one, going each. And after your tastes are achieved, you can choose to pass. However, the moment that your tastes aren't achieved because something puzzles change, you go back to red. You flip your card back over. There are varying levels of difficulty, so you can do the easy challenges. I just dropped the card there. You can do the easy challenges, or you can do the hards and mediums, which there is a bunch of challenges to choose from. I mean, medium and hard cards. And of course, when you pick the medium, you do the medium suit base, and when you choose the hard, you choose the suit base, which is all determined by here. You'll see the easies and the mediums in the back, and the hards in the middle here. That's just how I have them organized. That's just kind of what happened when I was fishing through them. And the whole goal of the game, is to achieve everyone's taste. But then after you do your 3 rounds, you would get stars, which would determine what your score is at the end of the game. After you get 5 stars on easy, meaning you achieved probably everyone's taste every single time, you end up you kind of beat that, you've mastered that level, right? So then you move up to medium and hard. I played, around 5-6 times at this point, I believe, and it's not that easy to get all 5 stars. Still, I had a lot of fun. Let me get into the before you buys now at this point. I believe the overviews cover, that's the gist of the game. You have 5 minutes to do it, achieve everyone's taste, and after you achieve everyone's taste, you can pass. And of course, you get stars at the end. And you want to have the most amount of stars, the highest score. So jumping into the before you buy portion, the game is going to be a great puzzle. Hard to master, but the game's easy to learn. You know exactly what you're doing. You have very small amount of actions. And when you're playing the game, it's difficult. It's actually really hard and easy, but in a good way, because it's fun. You're doing it, you're achieving, and once you get it done, it feels satisfying, which is really nice, and I like about the game so far. It's really easy to master. Not easy to master. Easy to learn, hard to master, and provides an excellent puzzle. And there's a lot of varying levels of play. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is once you think you're done, right? Easies. These are a lot of easy cards. There's a lot of hard and medium cards. You're just never out of options to change the game up a little bit. As well, your suit base can be different. There's a lot of easy cards here, a lot of the hards and the mediums at the very end here. It's the game. There's a lot of variability to the game when you're playing the game, and that's good and bad, and I'll go over why that could be bad. Not the variability, but parts of the reason the amount of cards can be bad. And I'll go over that a little more later in the next point. So our next point, it's going to be, that's actually going to be kind of like a pro, is that this game is, usually with cooperative games and puzzles, there's always someone backseat, like a backseat gamer kind of guy. Someone who's like, oh, you should do this instead, or do this, or do that. This game X's that out and moves it entirely because you can't do that. You can't talk. So when things are happening a certain way, there's no way like a backseat gamer. So it's a great cooperative game for someone who tries to control or tries to tell you, well, this is actually a better action for you, or tries to tell you how to play your game. That sometimes happens. I think they call it quarterbacking, when like they're telling you like, oh, you're playing like, for example, like a dungeon crawler, and they're telling you, well, go this way to do this, to do that, because that's going to help this and do that. This game is all played on your own time and doing your own actions because you know your taste, no one else does. This game is a great way to kind of bring in someone who's a quarterbacker or someone who's a backseat gamer into a game that's a cooperative that provides an excellent puzzle and a really fun experience and gameplay. The next thing we're going to talk about is the real-time component about this. So there's a very, 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 very stressful time playing with the real time, and that's actually really bad to say. Not very, very, very. It can be stressful, period, when you're playing with a real-time game. I enjoy the pressure. I enjoy that a lot, and I don't mind that. I love real-time games, and especially like the satisfaction of achieving that goal of being under a specific time. It provides a really fun, satisfying puzzle that way, for me at least, experience. However, for you, definitely consider the fact that those 5 minutes can be extremely stressful, especially if you don't like being rushed or pressured. Other people can't talk, but you definitely can, you just see their body or motion gesture that you're taking too long. It's definitely a fast-paced game, and you have to be okay with that. When you're playing the game, there's no time to just dwindle and figure out what you got to do. You got to pre-plan your move. The moment you do the one thing, you're seeing what they're doing. Okay, I'm going to have to get this to achieve my taste, and we'll see if someone gets it. Even giving off clues, right? Maybe you do something to like flip over your card so they know, oh, okay, so she moved the pair and I flipped it over. You give out clues even too, just kind of like signal that. There's a lot of fast-paced thinking. If you don't like that fast time pressure, definitely consider that when you're playing this game. For me, I enjoy pressure. I love that pressure. I love achieving that and going for it. It just provides that exhilarate, like a little bit of adrenaline almost when you're playing the game, and that's the part that I really enjoy. The next thing we're going to talk about is, this is the big thing about the game, is the luck and the draw. This is kind of like a big gripe for me, I guess. It's the luck and the draw. Something for you to consider, right? There are some very difficult, challenging taste cards here, right? Some of these cards are already hard to achieve, and then to add into that, if you pull a specific, for example, we play with 7 cards every time, but if you pull a specific 2 cards, those up the difficulty by a little bit more, right? You don't get to choose like this one, and this one. They're all random. So easy just turned into maybe like easier plus, or like medium at that point. Even hard, right? If you're playing on hard, which is extremely difficult, we had a lot of trouble. I think we lost all our stars, and this one we never even we just never won. On hard, specific cards, it seems like there's an unbalanced moment when you shuffle up the cards, is that some cards are just harder than others, and when they're put together now it's extremely hard and difficult. That difficulty is there with the randomness of pulling the cards, which I think is a little bit of an issue. An easy game now turned into like a medium game or a harder game, just because of the challenges. They just don't intermingle, and it's really difficult to deduct what exactly is going on. At some points, even though I feel the whole point is to figure out, okay, what is that character, what is that player, that other players, what is going on in their card, and you just can't figure it out, and you never will, only because the cards sometimes interchange a lot. There's no locking, right? Like, you don't end up like getting locked out from being finished, only because it just never gets that. There's no locking. The cards were balanced that way, where like you can't pull 2 cards and you just can't finish the puzzle. It ups the difficulty and ramps it up by a lot. It almost seems like some of these weren't really thought out in the sense of, okay, we should probably consider the fact that these cards are so, they hit, what's the word I'm looking for here? They end up being, they butt heads, I guess. Like, they're just so the same, so different. There's a word I'm looking for. They butt heads, basically. Like, they kind of like rub into each other, and you can't achieve them easily. It's like by the change of one single card. That's the biggest thing about the game. Those are something to consider before you buy the game. That kind of stood out to me. Big things that stood out to me. So, final thoughts. We've had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun with this game. I can say that because the puzzle was something I really enjoy. I love puzzly style games like this, like things that give you something hard to master. It's not just like a Euro game or something like that. This just provides a fun puzzle with a lot of variability. It is a card game as well. Like, literally everything you see on the table plus maybe like 10 more cards can all probably fit like in a little small baggie, very small travel size, easy to take around. I really enjoyed the puzzle it provides with everyone who I was playing with, and that can be a big factor too. Who you're playing with can really change up your experience with this game. Luckily enough, everyone in the group I play with is very positive. We're all very encouraging, and we all have a lot of fun being in those stressful moments. Some people freak out, and they can be loud, even though the game is supposed to be a little more, you're supposed to be not talking and not giving out hints or clues, but that's going to be a big portion of it as well. The game overall provides great variability. It provides a great puzzle that I really enjoy, as well as the timer part is actually the best part for me. I thrive in stressful moments, and I love being pressured like that. So, game is great. I enjoy it, and it's definitely one that's going to be staying in my collection for at least a very long time until I fully master it and find that next puzzle game that stimulates my brain and I enjoy. We're at the end of the video. Hopefully, and I hope this was helpful to you to consider if you're going to buy Too Many Cooks or not. Like I said, I mentioned in the beginning of the video, and I mentioned it one more time. This game was provided to us by Good Games Publishing, and thank you, Good Games Publishing, if you're watching this video. I've really enjoyed the game so far, and I cannot wait to master and try to master the next medium and hard, as I think we've mastered easy pretty well. We just need medium and hard now to master those. Thank you for watching the video, and I appreciate it. Have a good one.